For over 4 decades he has carried a grief so enormous, so complicated, and so deeply personal that most people have never come close to understanding the full weight of it. He was her brother. Her partner. The other half of the most successful sibling act in the history of American music. And now, for the first time in years, Richard Carpenter is finally saying the things that have lived inside him since February 4, 1983, the day his little sister Karen died in his parents' home at just 32 years old. And what he is saying will break your heart completely open. Just weeks ago, on March 2, 2026, what would have been Karen's 76th birthday, Richard sat down and wrote something that sent the entire internet into tears. He posted a tribute so raw, so precise, and so clearly written by a man who has spent 43 years missing the same person every single day, that fans around the world could not read it without weeping. He described her voice as marvelous, timeless, and perfect, truly perfect, capable of interpreting any song from any era with complete ease and from the heart. And then he closed with 7 words that said everything a brother could possibly say. He wrote, "There will never be another Karen." 7 words. 43 years of grief in 7 words. To understand why that statement hit so hard, you have to understand what Richard Carpenter actually lost. Karen was not just his sister. She was the instrument around which his entire musical vision was built. He was the arranger, the producer, the pianist, the architect of every Carpenter's record, but it was Karen's 3-octave contralto, one of the most naturally gifted voices in the history of popular music, that made everything he built mean something. She appeared on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 greatest singers of all time. She was a world-class drummer before she was ever a vocalist. She was funny, competitive, obsessed with baseball statistics, and genuinely beloved by everyone who ever worked with her. And she was being quietly destroyed by a disease that nobody in 1970s America had the language or the knowledge to address properly. Karen Carpenter had been struggling with anorexia nervosa for years before her death, and the tragedy that Richard has spoken about most painfully in recent interviews is not just that she died, but that she died just as she was beginning to get better. She had entered treatment in New York, gained weight, and by late 1982 seemed to finally be turning a corner. Richard has described the cruelty of that timing in terms that are almost impossible to sit with. She had fought so hard. She had come so far. And then on February 4, 1983, her heart, weakened by years of the disease, simply gave out. She was found collapsed at her parents' home. She was 32 years old. What Richard has also opened up about is the guilt. While Karen was disappearing in front of his eyes, Richard was fighting his own private battle, a dependency on quaaludes that had developed from years of insomnia, panic attacks, and the relentless pressure of maintaining one of the most successful musical careers in the world. He has said he was not in a position to help her the way a brother should have been. That the two of them were drowning at the same time and neither could save the other. He checked himself into treatment in 1979. He got better. Karen did not get better in time. Today Richard Carpenter is 79 years old. He still maintains the Carpenters archive obsessively, every tour date, every photograph, every piece of memorabilia preserved with the kind of devotion that only makes sense when you understand that keeping her legacy alive is the one thing he can still do for her. He opened a performing arts center in her name. He has authorized a definitive biography. He still plays her music. He still misses her every day. And on what would have been her 76th birthday, he sat down and told the world, "There will never be another Karen." He was right. There never will be. And that is the most heartbreaking truth of all.